Hi everybody, this is Gravestone, and welcome back to Odd Ones. So, a lot of stuff has changed. Like, I went around renaming most of my animals. So, there's that. As well as, built some more stuff. Alright. Now, before I get too involved in what I'm going to be doing, let's take a look at what I have done. Which is, I don't really need to go over to the village, the old village, because all I did was transfer all of the villagers from there to over here. That was annoying. And, yeah, I think this was already built. And then I built the new village over here, and it is very samey, and I get that, but, you know, is what it is, and there's all sorts of stuff. This is the mayor's office, and yes, I put a nitwit in there. And these are all going to be various stores that I haven't gotten around to decorating the insides of. I just got the villagers. Some have 2, some have 1. Some have bigger counters, some have smaller counters, you know. But, and this is actually, you know, functional, so I can just come over here and do that. That's kind of why I made that one that way. But yeah, so I've been doing all of this. And, yeah, so that's kind of where it is with the village. I just kind of brought them over. I also installed the... This is supposed to be... I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to leave the ice there and just kind of go with the idea that, yeah, it's water moving. Or actually just break the ice and make it water. That is a future me issue. Now, 2 things you'll notice. One is my face, or like my face is different. And that's because the Series X version of my... my face didn't transfer. Whatever it is, there was some change in the face I was using, or the eyes specifically, between the Xbox One and Series X version. So there's that. And 2, I have 2 decorated, even though it's minimally decorated, nether tunnels. That's because I just decided to go ahead and do the nether tunnels. So, yeah, I did that. And this nether tunnel over here goes to the gold farm. And that's where we're going now. So, over here, we have our portal. And then about 900 blocks this way, past a village and a pillager outpost, which I may do something with. Not the village, just a pillager outpost. Alright, so there is the gold farm. Actually built it earlier today. This is well, the tutorial I watched was from GraveyPlays, who I've been grabbing lots of tutorials from over the last couple of years. And it does work, although I haven't gotten any ingots yet, but you just come up here. Oops. You forget what you're doing. You come up there, turn that on. Come up here. I can actually get rid of these. Anyways, turn that on. And then turn that on. And basically it just lights and unlights the portal forever. And eventually you'll start to get piglins dying. Yep, there we go. Zombie piglins, because of the whole spawning in the every time another portal is lit. So, and that's that. And then when you're done, you're going to want to turn that off. And before I do that, I'm going to want to make sure that the portal isn't lit. There we go. I don't like leaving the portal on. It really doesn't affect anything. However, in a previous life, I had a gold farm and then tried to go through a portal later when it was lit and got killed immediately. It wasn't even the same portal. In fact, it was not close enough for it to have happened. So, okay, so what I've done is back here, I have a little board of projects, sort of. A project board, go figure. That I still have yet to do before on my end I called this world conquered. The gold farm and tunnel, technically the tunnel part isn't done yet, so can't. Well, actually, when I wrote that, it was for the actual nether tunnel, so this one actually I could take down, but it's I want to actually do the ship and all that before I do that. Now, the part where it says docks, that's going to be right down here. Well, one of them is docks, one of them is port. So I'm going to assume that the docks is going to be this, where that ice is and where that arch starts. That's going to be a... Oh, or I could just fly right over it. That's fine. I'll eventually figure it out. All this here is going to... I'm going to have an overhang, which should stop the ice from forming after that. And, but I'm not going to bother, because for a while I was just mowing through, taking out ice. And, yeah, it's kind of annoying doing it over, because then it just freezes immediately. So this is going to be like an overhang, like an enclosed area where there's going to be a crane over here that goes down here. Alright, this is taking too damn long. Over here where there's going to be docks. Now, I made that river to come all the way down because, there wasn't one. It stopped at some point. And I don't... Oh. A little too close there. So that's the docks and the port. And I've been going on and on and on about the monster lair that I'm going to be building, and I've shown that off before, so there's no need to fly over there at the moment to do, so that covers docks, port workers, and monsters lair. Now, the destroy village is... Alright. So, we'll do this in a little bit of detail. I may have already done this before, but whatever. I'm going to do it again. So, over here we have this village. Now, this village came complete with this portal. The ruined portal lore thing, whatever. Well, the idea is that I'm going to make this portal much bigger. And the idea is that something came through it and absolutely wrecked this village. The survivors fled over the mountain and started building up that village over where my base is. So, and over time it grew into a port with dock, that kind of thing, for airships and all that good stuff. So that's that. I was thinking about bringing this guy along too, but I may just leave him here. This wall will come down because, I'm going to open it back up. This wall's just up for working purposes. So what I'm going to do is going to slowly make the terrain very bad. I mean, Netherrack's already here, so, how much worse can it get? But I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to just, from the portal outward, the terrain is just going to be worse and worse, which is why when I've been growing spruce trees, I've been leaving the podzol, because that kind of fits the motif. I'm going to have all sorts of different types of blocks over here, kind of going out now eventually. And then, out that way, it's going to be grass still. And then I'm going to take TNT and just randomly place near spots of the village and just blow it up, almost like whatever it was that came through wasn't happy. So, and whatever, and then it decided to make its home way down in here. So that's the idea. So I did change some stuff around. This room is the same. That's still for making concrete. This is now just for these things. The stalactites and stalagmites, or stalagmite. Well, however you say them. I'm like almost 50 and I don't know how to talk. So this is now my lava and smelting room. Now, I am doing it the most annoying way possible, where I manually put everything in and manually change out the lava buckets. But I can live with that. And then I'm just growing some of this here. And I've got the blast furnace and the smokers. The biggest changes are back here to the farm room. So I do have some farms going. I've got a, I guess, zero-tick sugarcane farm that produces pretty good. And I need to turn that off before this thing fills up. And then I've got a bamboo farm, because I'm going to need some bamboo. So, and it's producing quite nicely. And then over here, I've got a bone meal farm, where it just does those. Now, every once in a while, I do have to go in and replace the spindly, viney things, whatever they're called. But it works. I mean, you know, it's produces. Now, I did have this machine running while I built the bee farm, which we're going to get to. That's a lobby. So, yeah, so I moved the bee farm in here. Now, I have emptied this. It was filled down to about here with various nonsense. So, over here, we still have the glow squid farm. But over here, I made... This is a mud farm. So you just converts dirt into mud, and it works really well. I built this for something I really only needed 2 stacks of. But again, sometimes you just gotta make a farm to make a farm. So yeah, so I did this, and this also happens to be a slime chunk. So if I wander away long enough, you know, for like a minute or so, inevitably a slime or two will spawn. Oh, look, they're just dying. Yeah, don't even need to kill them. They just... there's not enough water, so they just drown. They spawn and they drown. We'll hurry this around. And yes, the zombie noise... God, those things are loud. The zombie noises are on, I believe, the other side of this wall. There's a cave. I don't really care. It doesn't affect anything. I'm not worried about spawn rates down here because the two aren't connected. There we go. Hey, buddy. Come here. I don't need slime right now, but I can always use a new shot of me killing baby slimes for my opening video. Okay. We have Piglin Traders. Yes, hi. That is Ham Solo, and that is Pig's Darklighter. So, blame Patushka. But yeah, these guys have been going through my gold. And I did take some of these. And I took some of the entire reason I wanted this, again, was just so I could get these two things. Mostly this, because these guys are really the only way to get it without searching. So I don't think the annoying guy with all the llamas sells them. But yeah, so these things are starting to get full. So that's that. I built this, And then Patushka went and wrangled up these two guys. So that was her one job. And it took her like 3 months to do it, but you know. So this is just a random enclosure. You know, you used to just come out of the portal and fly over there, but I got sick and tired of creepers getting in there. So I decided to make a safer way. And by safer, I mean slightly safer. Well, I dug all this out because it's like 900 blocks. So there's that. I'm not going to fly down this tunnel, though. Unfortunately, just going to have to run it. But there's a lot of this area that is over a big old cave, as you can see the dripstone blocks. Can't believe I actually remember the name of those. There. So there's a lot of like just open cave areas. You can actually, if you listen, you can hear slimes. Okay. So up here is the gold farm. Now, what time of day is it? All right, we should be all right. I hope. Yeah. So this is, yeah, that kind of gold farm. Now this, and actually every farm I've shown in this video, I've used a tutorial from GraveyPlays, who is one of my go-tos. I'm not going to bother putting a link to these tutorials in the description of the video. I'm just going to put a link to his channel. Not sure if that's proper internet etiquette at this point or whatever, but, you know, giving him, you know, proper credit, I'm going to, you know, link his channel because I use so many of his farms. Oh, look, yeah, there you are, you little wandering doofus. That's not a creeper. That is moss. It's annoying. So this is, and I'll show it later, this is supposed to be like one of those life took over, like nature took over kind of things. This is the inside of the engine, like the flame poop chute for the warship. This is Timothy. He's a chicken that got stuck. He wandered into the nether hub and somehow made his way all the way down here. This is a minecart rail that goes all the way to the piglin, or the gold farm. Is the gold farm. You've seen the gold farm before, but now it requires sleeping. And you'll probably start hearing stuff dying. Oh, maybe not. Ah, there we go. Yep. That's fine. So this is supposed to be like the interior of a ship. I'll go out in a minute. But I can actually see the portal, so I could tell when it's on or off. I didn't really have a better solution other than put glass on there. But yeah, this is the gold farm we've been using, but I designed it so that it looks like the front of a ship, like the front part, and I'll explain all of that later. And then, yes, we've been in here, or playing a little bit. We found, Patushka went and found cherry blossom tree, so I decided to put a couple in here, like another one of those nature finds a way sort of things. So there's that. I can hear a spider, and this is more or less just so I can see. This door doesn't work. There's nothing hooked up to it. It's just supposed to be part of the ship that was broken, and the hull doors or whatever held, but the rest of the ship didn't. And I'll explain all of that later. Mostly once I fly away and get the majority of the stuff that is spawned to despawn. Actually, we'll go look back here. I don't even know what it's called. But yeah, this is supposed to be part of the engine that broke off and landed and fell in here. And, you know, so this is where the... Did I get shot or was that me landing? Because I just took random damage. Okay, whatever. Alright. But yeah, so this is supposed to be like, you know, where the thruster, I guess. So this is just supposed to be buried in the ground. Down below there is the portal. So I wanted a interesting and unique way, sort of, at least for me, to show off the portal. Or so not show off the portal, to protect the portal. And of course, I'm going to make this portal bigger, and I'll explain all of that at a later time. But yeah, this is the front of the ship. I used a model. This is modified. I didn't go bit by bit, but the inspiration and the general framework was off of a... whoops. Okay, I did not land where I wanted to. I need to make a hatch from the top, so I don't have to keep doing what I'm trying to do, which is to do this and not crash. Okay, well, that was alright. I can live with that. But it was off of a Planet Minecraft post by, let me see if did I save his name or do I gotta look him up now? Let's see. I deleted it, didn't I? Yeah, because I was done with it. But I used it's a image of somebody did the space battleship Yamato in Minecraft, and on Reddit it is credited to, because I don't know if they're the same person, but it's user Melly Melly with 3's instead of E's and all one word. And the Planet Minecraft post that I was also referencing, which is similar, I think they're both taken off of an already existing photo, was by Helson. So they were both very good, and just blew me away with it. I used the Melly Melly one more frequently because they're essentially the same, you know, so which leads me to believe that they're both taken from the same already existing picture of the Yamato. So, which, if anyone is unfamiliar, that's the ship from Star Blazers. Okay, so, but I used that as a kind of a reference point. I didn't obviously copy it verbatim, but I definitely went with those heavily for inspiration on the shape, you know. Anyways, so as you can see, like I did, you know, I was thinking about you know, leave room for the redstone was the end of that sentence. I didn't bother to finish. So yeah, so this is our gold room. So completely protected. You know, nothing spawns in here because it's all slabs and it is lit up pretty decently. I am not going to bother to explain the lore yet. I will when it's done, because there's still a lot to do. And the whole, what I did to my base, in addition to, and I'll show that in a second, what I did at my base, not so much to my base. The reason my, yeah, there's caves. The reason my base is set up the way it is has everything to do with it. The banners that we use, you know, I'm incorporating into the very loose, mostly backstory lore. It's not super in deep. It's just generally just some, this is kind of what's going on sort of thing. I'm not writing a freaking novel here. Barely an outline. So, But once it's all done, then I'll explain it because it'll make more sense as I get, or not so much once it's all done, but once I start getting into the end game of all of my builds, it'll start to make more sense. So, so as you can see, we have banners here. This here, you'll see this banner kind of around my base. We're using this as the banner for the faction where my base is, the port, so to speak. So they're like a friendly, neutral, non airfaring sort of folks. And this is officially my banner. Yeah, I know it's the thing or whatever, the Mojang logo, but you know, orange and black because, you know, Flyers fan. So so yeah, so that's that. And you'll see it, like if I'm flying around a little bit, you'll see that and actually in here we have banners for all of the friendly factions in the pub. See, this is, you know, so it's, and these, there's a bunch of these banners up on top. So, like, hypothetically, if you're flying towards a port, you know where these people stand, who their allies are, you know, and so the list of allies, this one is Patushka's banner. She always does the cat. And in fact, this one has been on multiple realms. And so I was just having fun with banners. So there are ones that are non-friendly. So, you know, but there are even our pirate ones that are friendly. I love beacon effects. Alright, let's head up. Take a nap. Why am I taking random damage? Oh, I was swimming. Nice. I still haven't messed with the swimming technique yet. Or whatever. Hopefully she sees the message. Hopefully she sees... There we go. Figure if I said it enough times. So the other thing I did here is I went and I made this. Which is an actual, like, it is a legit farm. It's, I'm trying to go down the wrong one. And it also doubles as a way for me to get down without flying, get up without flying. But the idea is that this thing is built up because of all the bad stuff down. You know, mobs, monsters, and whatnot. So they decided to go up, knowing that they can't reach them, other than phantoms and maybe spiders. Oh, I should close this. And if I go down here, go down that ladder, there's a pillar with a door in it that I can get out. So then I can go access like the horses. Now the stuff that I have left to do around the base, you know, because I've got my functioning village over there and all that. This entire thing was just because I wanted wheat and I just went overboard. But then I also made it work in story, I guess. So, yeah. You know, we've got, this is currently not doing anything. In fact, I could probably just go turn off the minecart. Because I have so much honey. I have so much honey. I have, like, rows upon rows of every kind of honey, everything, except for bottles. I forgot to do the bottles. Alright, so we're just going to turn this off there, because it doesn't need to be moving. But yeah, and then I took all of I have enough shears and glass bottles to fill every one of these with each thing. Every one of these guys. So really they're just there now, but because that thing it was bigger than I needed, and it filled everything up. I've got so many honey blocks, so many honeycombs, so many honeycomb blocks, but I also have this over here, which is a goat farm. I grabbed a couple of goats, brought them down here because I wanted horns. Now, as you can see, I have a set of horns for me, a set of horns for Patushka, and a set of horns for Yui if she wants them. when she finally gets around to joining. But I don't have any of the Screaming Goat ones because there's like a 2% chance of when you breed these things that it gives you a Screaming Goat. And I have not gotten there yet. And I don't have one in here. But the idea behind this, the concept, this is another GraveyPlays one. I used his tutorial. Is you stand here, you breed the goat, goat falls down here, goat grows up. You're supposed to stand here, and it's going to wander around. If you stand still, just kind of keep that on there. And then when you see him put his head down, you go like this. However, I found that he usually hits the piston. So what I do is I just stand here and I look at him. And whenever I see him put his head down, I just go over here. And he hits this, and I get a horn. It works just as well as with the piston. So that's what I tend to spend quite a bit of time, because I've got so many extra ones of these horns. The one that I was having trouble getting was Feel. So, but I have one of each for everybody. And Feel's the one, as it turns out, that sounds like the brown note. So, yeah. So that's what's down here now. I have I found a zombie spawner. So I use this to heal up stuff. Like, quickly. Just like stuff that needs just a quick heal. Because zombie spawners are slow. And as you can tell, I have armor trim, because I went and I found the armor trim that I'm using, and I have one set that's done with see, there we go. God, that's loud. I have one set trimmed with diamond. Okay. Cool. Let me put my stuff back on, and then go get ready for our adventure. Restock my rockets. But I've been diamond mining so that I could have enough diamonds to do enough armor trims to get the achievement. So we'll go up and look at that. And I suppose we're about at the point where I should invite Patushka.